Alright guys, we're here at Busybody Fitness in Boca, which is the longest gym membership that I've had. I haven't shot here in a while, so thank you very much to John Larkin for letting me shoot here today. I just got done doing the Blackstone crunch. Is that right?
Kirksville crunch.
Close enough, right? And so I'm actually not working out. I worked out really early this morning. I did shoulders. I wish I was doing back because I would get in there with them, but we're going to start using, I've been combining different philosophies that I've been focused on for a while. Have had some influence from what Flex Wheeler's been doing with Keon with my normal high volume, and I'm actually going to take them through a BeatPJ back workout. It's very similar to stuff that I've been doing. And any of you guys that are out there, I encourage you to try this workout at the end. We're going to do a lot of volume, and we're going to move at a fast pace. So when she's going, she's resting, vice versa, that's it. All my workouts are done with a fast pace. So we're going to start out pretty basic with a lat pull down. We're going to do 6 sets of 20 reps. And we're going to use a pretty neutral grip. We're not going to go too close, we're not going to go too wide, we're not going to go underhand, just your standard overhand, a little wider than shoulder with lat pull down. This is very good form. She's staying nice and upright. Sometimes people make the mistake of leaning really far back when they do this exercise. You can see that she never loses the integrity of her posture. Very important. And she's pulling with her lats all the way down. I can feel the muscles are firing hard. Same thing. You can actually see the muscles firing here, which is good. Wow, you actually look a lot different than when you were here last time. One thing for big pictures.
Dude.
Yeah.
I look back at that video from last time, I look so like big. I look swole.
You look good, but you actually, to be honest with you, you actually look more muscular.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Because you're showing more. You look like lumped already, which is good. All right, so remember, the beginning, it's okay to be more conservative. The idea is for 20 to be very hard. Just working our way up. Very good. So that's the thing, people at home. One of the more challenging things when you're doing the higher reps, your back is a very, very strong group of muscles where your grip will often start to fail on you or your back when you're getting deeper into these high rep sets. So I'm not opposed to wearing wrist straps. And in fact, I use them myself when I was competing. I don't use them anymore. But when I get deep into my volume, my form starts to burn really bad. You can get tendonitis from that. Good form also. Good. Very good. Come on, keep going. Wait.
I think the last time she worked out was a month ago.
Really?
Like, yeah. She had like crazy genetic strength, so she can just bring it back.
Good. Keep going. Keep grinding it out. More. Good. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Come on. We need 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Come on. Pull, 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 pull. Good job. Very good. Come on. Keep going. Good.
There you go.
Good. Come on. Come on. More. Come on. There you go. Keep going. Barely helping you. Come on. Keep going. Need 2 more like that. Come on. 1 more like that. Oh yeah, there it is. Halfway there, come on. Good. Good. Very good. Awesome. Alright. So now, set my bang, because I'm a little tired. Shout out the bang, they're always nice to me. So train your back the right way. You should have a lot of row movements. You gotta do rows to have a properly developed back. Lat pull downs are great exercises. It's definitely a great way to warm your back up. We're definitely warmed up now. But to build the proper density through your back, you have to row a lot. 90% of my workouts are rows. It kind of, for the most part, will warm up with some sort of pull down exercises, and I love pull over type of movements for the stretch. But I put a lot of my focus into rows. I suggest everybody do that as well. You got your barbell rows, which overhand, underhand, T-bar rows, dumbbell rows. What we're gonna do today, you don't see a lot of action going on back here, so we're gonna probably move out of the way with it, is we're gonna do a 2-arm dumbbell row. So 2-arm dumbbell row requires a lot of core stabilization. And it gives you a lot of freedom to pull your arms into the optimal spot, where barbell row is a little trickier. Plus, there's a big difference between doing a unilateral versus a bilateral movement. And I find that people should get into doing more stuff like this to work out imbalances. So, we're gonna be bent over with the dumbbells. And we're gonna let ourselves get a stretch at the bottom. We're not gonna round our backs at all. We're gonna maintain that proper integrity. We're gonna roll our elbows in. And then come back down. Now you'll notice when I come down, see how I'm kind of going in a slight arc motion? This is important because your back, your lat muscles, they're gonna pull your arms back like this. So if I let myself come out like this, I start pulling a lot with my posterior delts and my traps, which are very, very strong muscles. And it's okay to work those muscles, but we want to really focus more on the back. So we're gonna come here into this arc motion, pulling back towards where basically like your belt would be. And again, we're gonna go with the 20 reps on these. We're gonna go with 6 sets of 20 reps. So you're not gonna want to go crazy heavy like when you do a 1-arm dumbbell row, because you gotta focus on that stability with your lower back and your core. So you can see through here is working so hard, which is what I want. It's a shame in bikini this is all covered up with hair. Good. There you go. Good. Good. There you go. Good. Slides through here. There you go. Good. Good. Awesome. Good. Good. We're just putting all that blood in there. Lots and lots of volume. Good. Good. Very good.
There you go.
Good. One more.
There you go. That was it.
Good. Good. Here you go. That's how you grind them out. You actually see all the way down to your waist firing now. Just cool. Down here. There you go. There you go. Good. Good. Nice. Good job. Good. Come on. Good. Good. So the last two, when you're starting to get tired, you started standing up taller and like slouching a little bit more like this. So I'd rather see you start out lower and get a little bit more body momentum to get it than to try to stay strict with your arms but being like this. You know? Good. 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 There you go. Come on. Good. Come on. Good. And over just a little bit more. There you go. Pull hard. There you go. Good. Good. Keep going. Give me 4, 3, 2, more. Good job. So now we're moving into the stuff that I love. Now we're gonna get into some fun stuff. So this is a BeatPJ Braun Fitness giant set that I like to do all the time when I'm training my back, okay? So we're gonna start out with, and we're actually gonna hold it like this. There is no incorrect way to hold this attachment. Well, I suppose this one. But when you hold it like this, you're put into a little bit more of the underhand position, okay? So when you supinate your palm, your biceps tend to engage. It's very important that we don't do that as much. Here, you're more closer to neutral, going towards prone. You're not going to engage your biceps. You have to worry about overworking anything there. However, you'll stretch a little more thorough. You see, most people, when they demonstrate stretching exercises for the lats, they'll actually do it with their arms up. So we want to get the full stretch, right? So we're going to start out. You see the pull your arm. The way I'm going to do it is, here's my regular full extension, okay? So what we're going to do is, we're going to do about 15 reps. It's okay if we only get 14 or if we do 16. But we're going to do the first half of this with perfect form, just from extension to full flexion here. And on the last half of the exercise, we're going to come forward and exaggerate a little bit, and then pull a little back. All right? So we're going to start out here. This is the, I guess we call it harder. We'll finish this set. I'm going to pop right over to this rope. We're going to do a stiff arm rope pull down. Extremely strict. Pulling down in this arc motion till we get to our shins, letting it stretch all the way back up. This is a safe alternative to doing dumbbell pullovers that won't aggravate your shoulder. And on this one, we're gonna do 15 reps. Then, put this in here, jack the weight up, step back, and just row through here with the rope, pulling it apart, so we can just force all this blood back in. So we're gonna pull everything in with these rows, open everything back up again, and then pull it all back in with the finisher. We're gonna run through this 4 times. We're gonna start out a little lighter, and work our way up. The last step will be the hardest one. So, let me show you something that's considered wrong. This is wrong, right? Because I've lost the integrity of my spine. Now, sometimes what I do is I actually come all the way forward like this. So I'm actually feeling more of a stretch lower in my back. And I'll actually, this is way more advanced, and you should do this very light if you're gonna play around. If you hurt yourself, I'm sorry, I'm letting you know that there are things that can happen. So when I'm here, right, my range of motion, fortunately, is shorter, and it's pretty easy for me to get this going. When I'm here, my range of motion is farther, right? But the stress that I feel in my lats is literally in the insertion point low. And that is because of the angle. So people will tell you that that's wrong. People will also tell you that this is wrong. Here, you're gonna feel more in your upper body. So what I want most people to do is try to have the right form, right? So they're relatively injury-free or safer. But I encourage you to feel this stretch through here, so you can get a farther range of motion and work the muscles a little differently. Just because a machine is made to be done a certain way doesn't mean that your body can't do that. Like people always tell you like, oh, you shouldn't let your knee go over your foot when you lunge, that's dangerous. All of us are designed for our knees to do that. It's just a matter of how much more stress you're gonna have when you do these certain things. So if you lighten up the weights and really focus more on feeling the muscle work, you can work the muscle from completely different angles. So, I encourage you to experiment. Good. So these are the very stretches coming from extension, and the tension is here no matter what. Now, if you're a trainer and you're making sure somebody uses perfect form, what you can do, what I used to do with my clients back in the day is I'd jam my knee right there. That way they can't swing backwards and cheat. Now she's got this first half done, you're gonna lean forward, get a big stretch, and pull back like that. So you're getting a lot more of a stretch in, which when you're not using momentum is a good thing because you're taking the muscle from its weakest point. When you don't allow it to fully extend, you keep the blood centralized in there, but you don't get the full range of motion. So it's good to do a little bit of both. Very good. And come over to the special guest here, ladies and gentlemen. Special guest. Hi, this is Stephanie. This is
Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
This is Claudia.
Hi, Claudia. She was all
You can come anytime. Keep your arms closer together. Concentrate right here, pull right down toward your shin. Whenever you want. Feel this all the way up here. These stretch type movements are designed to be done slowly. Now when you get to your 15, good. So you can pull your elbows back and farther. There. Good. Come on. Good. Go 5, 4, 3, 2. 1 more. There. You're gonna bend all the way over. Keep the arms closer together like this. Bring it straight down towards your shin. There you go. Good. Two more like that. One more. Good. Five, four, three, two, one more. Good job. Good. Good. Perfect. Back hard. There you go. There you go. Need 4 more like that. 3 more. 2 more. Good. Do 3 more like that. It's very, very good for you. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Good. Stick your chest up high. There you go. Good. Good. Come on. Stick that chest up hard at the top. You need 4 more like that. 3, 2, come on. 1 more. Chest real high. Good. Guys, when you pop your chest up, so when you're pulling back, right? When you fire your chest up, it forces the contraction through your muscles farther. Feel the stretch through here. Good. Keep going. Stay forward. You know, look forward. There you go. 3 more like that. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Good. Nice. Keep going. Keep going. These next ones, come on. Keep going. Let's do 4 more. 3. 2 more. 1 more. Alright, I'll definitely make it heavier for you next time. Good. Lean forward. Pull back hard. Good. Keep going like that. Keep going. 1 more. Good. 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 Let it extend even more. There you go. That's what I want. Give me 4 more. 3. Full extension. 1 more. 1 more. Good. There you go. Good. Good. Come on. Keep going. Come on. You got more. Keep going. Keep going. Come on. Give me 3, 2. Pump the system hard. 1 more. Good. Good. There you go. Good. Good. Come on. 4. Full extension. 3. There you go. 2 more. 1 more. Good. 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 Pull back hard. Right here. Real hard. There you go. Good. Good. Come on. Good. Keep going. Keep going. We're gonna do 5, 4, 3. Pull those back hard. 2 more. One more. Good job. All right. We're just going from start to finish through the length of our arm. The second half, we're going to get into a deep range of motion. Now start leaning forward. There you go. See, she's leaning forward, but she's keeping the posture in check. That's what we want. We're exaggerating the stretch for you. Come on. Good. 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 Keep going. Maybe 2 more. 1 more. Good. Come on. Good. Good. Perfect. Good job. Good. 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 Come on. Come on. Keep going. 3 more like that. 2 more like that. 1 more. Good job. Back to straight. Good. 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 Lean forward a little more. There you go. Good. We're getting all this stretch all the way up into the insertion. This is stretching all the way down, guys. Your lats insert low. Keep going. We get 4 more. 3 more. Actually gonna make this even heavier on this side. Good. 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 I love the rope. So you can just pull anywhere you really want. Change the strategy. Let's go 4, 3, 2, put that chest back. 1 more. Good. Where the weight is going to be, obviously your body weight is dependent as well. I'm very heavy, so it's different for me, but you're going to get to a point where the weight is so heavy that it's pulling you forward. And if that happens, what you can do is you can stagger your feet like this and sit into it and using your body weight to leverage yourself more when you do it. Now, some of the guys at home are probably strong enough to throw on the whole stack, but remember, if you're jerking you around a lot, just make it a little bit more concentrated so you're not going all around. Essentially, you're working the muscles very similar to how you would on the seated row. But with standing, there's a lot of stabilization and other things involved that just stimulate the muscles a different way, and that's why I want to do that. So we're done with that giant set. We're going to move on to the next one now. So what we're going to do now is the last, we're going to do 1 isolation move at the end. This is going to be the last challenging thing that we're going to do today. So a lot of people are afraid to do behind the neck pull downs. I actually love doing behind the neck pull downs. When done the right way, they're actually a very, very effective exercise. So now, I actually usually face out when I do them, and I like to anchor my feet back. So I will sit here like this, and I anchor my feet behind me. Okay? It's easier for me to get my scapula in place like this. Women are typically more flexible than men and have an easier time getting their scapula in the right spot. So here my scapula are pulled back because of the leverage of the machine, where when I'm facing forward, I have to concentrate more on pulling them. So when I pull down, I'm basically pulling to the back of my head. All right? Some people are going to be flexible enough to pull all the way down to where their neck meets their back, and that's when you start to get into a little bit of a danger zone. So really here, you can keep your head forward. You're going to pull to the back of your head. So this is essentially going to be where your arms are going to be if you do like a back double bicep pose. You're flexing, you're squeezing those muscles. We're focusing on squeezing these muscles. You don't want the weight to be so heavy that we're jerking. You want the muscles to do the work and hold it in place. So on this one, we're going to shoot. This is an exercise that you want to be conservative with. Do your form perfect. And we're going to shoot for about 15 reps. So from here, we're going to do our perfect. Then we're going to jump over here and focus literally just on moving the weight. Alright, so we're going to be here. And I'm okay with them getting less reps, let's say 10 reps. On this one here, I'm really just wanting them to yank it back, okay? If you have the hammer strength option, in your gym, the hammer strengths are designed a little bit differently. This is pre-core, so the hammer strengths, many of them only have the handle here. That's totally okay. Some of them have both. For this particular exercise, we're going over here with this overhand version, and we're pulling our elbows back to hit more of the upper back. When you do it like this, your elbows are in more, you're going to feel it more lower into the lats, like when you do your dumbbell rows and whatnot. We've done a lot of that already, so I want them opening up and getting more through their upper mid back now. And that top area is where we're kind of finishing out everything on. And then I'm having to do a little exercise again. So here, it's all about ripping it back. There, super strict form. You can do this a bit, right?
I think so.
All right, so let's come over here. And you can see how everything's just knotting up in here. And you know, guys, when you're wearing a tank top, or ladies, like this is this upper portion of your back that has a lot of really great looking little bumpy muscles to it that are fun to see when they're developed. So this is not one to try to go to failure on. You're going to hit your reps specific, focus on that squeeze, and then from there, keep going. Maybe like 3 more, 2 more. 1 more. Good. Actually, probably you have to worry about the external rotation of your shoulder when you do this. Your shoulder can naturally come to here. So when you start going farther than that, you're going to have issues. This is very good form. Have you been counting?
Yeah.
15. I don't want you to go to failure.
Okay.
Go back farther. There you go. Go, pull back farther. 3 more like that. 2 more like that. 1 more like that. Good.
Driveway. Past stuff. You know, it was a fairly simple thing, but the guy told us everyone
Everything through here a lot. This is an interesting one because you usually feel this a lot after you stop it. When you're walking away, all of a sudden you're like, oh, it really burns in here. So you can actually pull it down even a little bit less far than there to like right here. Right. Good. You're clean enough where you can see everything firing crazy back on here. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Good. Hell yeah, keep going. Come on. Hard. Come on. 2 more. 1 more. Strong. Good. 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 Need 4 more. All the way back. 3 more. 2 more. Come on. 1 more. Good. Squeeze all through here. This does wonders. Awesome. Good. Let's go to your back pose again. Okay, back to the front. So just running through everything. Her biceps are pumped now, of course, because she just did a back workout. So, you know, her biceps are actually a very developed part of her body. She has very good arms. We would be careful to not let that get developed too much because it'll take away from her shoulders. So she's got a good anterior delt, could use a little bit more in the medial posterior delt. This is my job, by the way, is to tell her what's wrong with her. So I don't want people at home being like, this guy's a dick. This is what we have to do. She's got great back development, and her midsection is a strong point of her physique. Then we get down into the legs. Let me see you run through it again one more time. So she has plenty of muscle in her legs. Now the genetic shape of her glutes is great. She genetically holds fat in a tricky spot, and this is gonna be the trickiest thing. So for wearing shorts and going to the beach and, you know, wearing a thong bikini, she has gotten very lucky where she holds fat. But for competing, she's gotten an unlucky spot, and we're gonna have to focus really hard on that, because if you see from the back, even though she's super lean, she holds it right there and right there. So basically we're gonna focus on shredding her down. We're just gonna keep on pulling her down until this is just completely, unfortunately, guys, squared off, because that's what it's gotta look like. The roundness, no good on stage. So big difference from the first video till now.
Goodness, yes.
Just lower body, huge difference. The first video, she came charging out like a brontosaurus with the legs in that first video. I told Eric, I was like, that is a serious lower body. And he was like, yeah. She's very lucky in the sense that if you look at genetically the tilt to her lower back, I have a little bit of a tilt with my pelvis too. So her pelvis kind of tilts up, which gives a very pleasing look here. Now the issue with that is we're gonna have to focus a lot on insertion through things like Romanian deadlifts, hamstring development, building this up more to really tighten this area up more. So we actually have not even picked the show date yet. We did a mini cut to see how she would look with some of the fat off. Now that we've done that and I'm seeing her in person, I actually do feel that you are ready to compete. It's a matter of what we do as the first show. I did have a list of shows that I saved on here.
He like texted me, he's like, we're ready for a show. And I'm like, what? I wasn't ready for that.
So let's see.
It's like as a competitor, you're always picking out like all the bad things on yourself. So it's like sometimes you just need somebody else to be there for you to tell you, no, you're ready, or no, you're not ready, or as PJ was just doing, just picking out like different things that I have overdeveloped or underdeveloped. So,
you know, your friends are always going to tell you good things, right? You know, sometimes you might make your friend mad and they might be like, you're an asshole, but you know, your friends are going to tell you things that really impress them about you. And that's great. That's what friends are for, in essence, right? But a good coach, obviously you don't want to say it in a mean way, should tell you what you need to focus on the most. And that is, of course, my job. So each time I look at her, I will, of course, tell her the things that I am impressed with, but I also have to tell her the things that need the most work, which we knew from the start was going to be a matter of condition in the lower body.
yeah, and it gets down to the point where you just don't want to just go and show. Like you want to make sure that you're bringing in your best physique, because like anyone can show, anyone can lose 20 pounds, but I mean, if you don't work up to it, like on your off season, and you know, put on the,
All right.
it's the pink one. Keep scrolling.
Pink. All right. Women's bikini. So, let's just do it. Am I getting older, or is this just really small?
It's not tiny.
Okay. All right, so let's zoom over to like the June range. So we've got quite a lot going on in June, actually. So I don't want to get her on stage before June because I want to do this the proper way, which is slow and steady and not overly dramatic. Once you get your first show done, by the way, if you're planning on doing a number of shows, I personally don't feel that when you're doing things the way you should be in something like bikini, for instance, that you should have any issue doing multiple shows. With bodybuilding, it's a little different because bodybuilders typically do, unfortunately, dangerous things the last day or so before shows that result in extremely dehydrated physiques, and that is really, really hard on the system. I don't feel it is necessary to do that for bikini. So for that reason, Once you're in show shape, there's no reason why you shouldn't stay within, let's say, 3 to 5 pounds of that for however long your season needs to be, and you can do many shows. Many successful bikini competitors compete many, many times a year. If your objective is to just do the show and be the best that you can be and see what you want to do from there, put it all in for that show, go back to the drawing board. Now, our objective now is to make her as competitive as possible and get her to be the best that she can be, to hopefully win shows, but at least be in the mix. In my opinion, if you're in the first call out in a bikini show, you won. Because there's a lot of parity, and because it is so subjective, no one is just going to come and just win every show. It's just not going to happen. You know, that you're going to get the same group of girls being placed around differently in shows, and your objective should be to be one of those girls. If you're getting the first call out, then you're one of those girls. You want to stay there, and that is going to be our goal, is get her in that mix. It'd be awesome to win a show. I'd love to get her points to be on the Olympia stage, but I believe that with the structure that she has and with how pretty her face is, that she belongs in that top group of girls. And I think that it's going to come down to essentially just the conditioning aspect of it. The structure and physique is outstanding. It's displaying it the right way. So June, all right, let's see here. There's a lot. All right, so you got,
Yeah, and not all the international shows are there either. So that's a
figured
different
out.
list.
So you've got, all right. Well, you've got the Mile High Pro. You've got the Toronto Pro, which would be sending her pretty far for, I don't think that we need to worry about that. Well, you've got the Miami Muscle Beach Pro Bikini Show, which is the beginning of Miami. We're sponsoring that show, actually, so that would probably be a good one to think about. Then you've got the Greater Gulf, which is the 22nd. So the Miami show is 6/8. So then we're getting into July. I would say right now, we can sit down and take a good look at this, but with where you're at right now, I think that it would not be a bad idea to start with the Miami Muscle Beach show.
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Okay, I think that's a very, very good idea. Now,
I've been wanting to do that show for years now.
that same weekend, you've got the Northern California Pro, which is the complete other side of the country. So where are you going to be like living at that point?
I travel back and forth, so it's not that big of a deal for me.
All right, because
so.
if you're in California, then maybe you want to do that one. If
Well,
you're
that
not,
one's north, so it'll be like the same distance
okay.
for me to like just travel over to Florida than it is to travel up north to San Francisco.
well,
or
then I would
Sacramento.
say that the Miami is a great one, because then I don't have to spend any extra money flying myself on a plane anywhere, because I obviously want to be there. And then as we go along, you've got the Greater Gulf, which is the 6/22. You've got Chicago Pro, which is that's a 3-day show. That's a big one. That's the beginning of July. You've got the Patriots Challenge in July, Vancouver show in July. You've got the Prestige Crystal Cup. Is that Florida too? Mm-hmm. That's
It's in Boca here.
That's in July also. You've got the Tampa show, which we always sponsor that one as well, which is August 1st. So realistically, there is no reason why that we couldn't have you start out in Miami and potentially get back on stage in 2 weeks, and then back on stage again in 2 weeks again.
So it gives them time to like make modifications.
You to essentially be able to do 3 shows in 30 days, basically, which is pretty awesome. Actually, you could do 3 shows in 30
Are you
days.
guys sponsoring the Mexico one again this year?
Maybe.
'Cause that one's in June as well. Is that on the list? Trying to go out. I'll go to Mexico.
Mexico.
And then the Bikini Olympia is in September, and then you've got some stuff after. Philippines, Iowa, Sacramento, Romania. I think that the smartest choice is to do the Miami show. So that will be our goal. We're going to take a look at everything this weekend and put together a good plan, which we've already been working together for a while, so it's easier. So we talk pretty much every day now. And we've gotten all the figuring out stuff out of the way. Now we know how to apply our plan, folks that go forward, and get her. She just got pretty lean pretty fast. And I did push it, I think, a little bit aggressive as we went along, but I certainly think that she had a lot in her if she wanted to do more, and we didn't get too crazy with the cardio.
No.
And we played around with the food quite a bit, a couple cheat meals in there. And so really now, her starting point now is a very good starting point, you know. So let's just say, just throw numbers around, everyone looks different at different levels. I want to probably pull her way down though, because I want her to be super lean. So let's just say she could lose anywhere from 8 pounds to maybe, even if I really, really suffered her down, 14 pounds. But we've got a lot of time. Essentially it'd be like a pound a week, if that. And at the end, when you're playing around with water and stuff, you always wind up losing a couple pounds that you didn't know that you had anyway. So nothing crazy by any means. Really where she is right now, another 5 pounds, she would be what most people consider ripped. But it's a very, with women, with guys, it's much, much different. It's very hard to predict how much weight somebody will have to lose to get basically the booty, is what it is, to look the right way. Sometimes everything is ready, and then you spend like 5-6 weeks just getting that last piece in, and you will not do well in bikini without having that separation in the hand glute tie-in. I've talked about this a lot, is the most important part about the sport. So no matter how good your abs are, she has awesome abs, no matter how good, you know, your genetic shape is, when you turn around, you've got to have that separation there. And that's what we're going to be focusing on a lot. With her training, I just want her training hard, burning calories, because I don't really feel that she has weaknesses. With her diet though, and with the cardio at the end, we're going to focus on getting her as lean as possible at the end, which I feel that I am pretty damn good at. And she listens. And I will say this, I'm not saying it because you're here, but she is really easy to work with. I actually truly enjoy working with her. I've had girls over the years that I would tell them they were annoying and that I didn't want to work with them anymore. And then they apologize and come back. Stephanie, her personality and mine work very, very good together for a coach / competitor. And so I think that we're going to have a really, almost swear, and I try to not swear on these. Fuck it. I think we're gonna have a really fucking good season, and excuse my language, I'm excited about it. Do I smell?
No.
Okay. I hate doing these when I come from the gym because I like to be clean. And I timed myself bad today, so I'm a little, I don't think I smell. And that's it. So thank you very much, by the way, to Geraldine who came in
Thank you for
and
volunteering.
trained with us and fixed me up a little bit.
Thanks for the workout.
Very good. Sisters that work hard together, good attitudes. I feel that this was a very good workout for anyone at any level, okay? And that's that. As always, peace out. Bye.